I want to try something different today. Instead of doing a product review, I want to talk about maybe something that I'm carrying with me that can be improved. I believe that there's not a lot of medical kits on the market that come perfect out of the box. Usually they come with too much of one thing or not enough of something else. So I think they should always be tweaked a little bit to be better suited to what your needs are. For example, I'm a full-time traveler right now, so I just wanted something that was compact that I could take with me that had some of the essentials. But I should mention my background. I used to be in the military. I used to work with search and rescue in the mountains. I used to work with disaster relief. And in those industries, I would carry a lot more medical supplies with me. I don't need all that anymore. But I also got to mention, I'm not giving you professional advice. I'm not telling you what you should carry in your pack. I'm just going through what I've been carrying, and I'm going to do an inventory and maybe see what I don't want to carry so much anymore, what I still want to keep in here, and what I need to buy and add to this to make it even better. Just to clarify with you, I did buy this online, and it came with some medical supplies in it, but basically I've taken a lot of the insides out and put a lot of new stuff in. So I really like the case itself, but the interior components needed to be changed around. So let's start by opening it up, inventorying it, because it's been a while, I forgot what's in here. So we'll take a look and see what can be improved. Let's jump into it. So as we open it up here, the first thing that I notice is that I've got a knife in here. It's a little bit of a multi-tool too, with some screwdriver accessories. So we're already off to a really interesting start so far, which gets me to my second point, that I don't want to just have a first aid kit. I want to build also a survival kit, because I carry some paracord in a different bag. I carry a little headlamp, and maybe I should put all these things together. So we'll talk at the end of the video after the first aid stuff about maybe building a little bit of a survival kit too. Now, a fun story about this knife, I actually got it onto an airplane once. I didn't mean to do it, and I'm definitely not recommending that you try it. Security did catch it, and after some deliberation, they actually let me bring it on the plane. So just an interesting, fun little story for you. Okay, let's really start looking into this now. So first thing I notice, I think this whistle came with the first aid kit. I didn't buy this, so that would probably go good with my survival kit, so I'll throw it into the other pile. Tweezers came with the first aid kit. I think I'll keep it. Scissors, I think that's a good idea. I haven't tested these to see how well they work, so I should probably test them, but we'll keep it. Now here is something that I definitely added myself, a tourniquet. It's not necessarily the best tourniquet in the world, but it is a good compact travel size tourniquet. It fits into a lot of different pockets, so I will keep that. Medical tape, gauze. Gauze is definitely important. Now here's something I need to improve. I have so many loose little medications I've picked up during my travels, and some of them I don't even know what they are anymore. So I should probably toss out most of these and then redo the medicine side of my first aid kit. These came with it. I suppose I'll keep them for now. More pills. And then this is a lot of stuff that I think also came with the first aid kit. Okay, I just had to pause the video real quick and look through some of this stuff, because a lot of it seems like it could serve the same purpose even though they're different products. I've got triple antibiotic ointments, alcohol swabs, sting relief, antiseptic towelettes, iodine prep pads. And I'm, again, not an expert in any of this, so I'm not giving you advice, and I don't even know what to do myself. But it seems like most of this stuff can be solved with an alcohol swab. So maybe I should, instead of having all of these different products, maybe I should just have like one product that serves multiple purposes and is less confusing for me. And I do have in here just one burn gel packet, which I think is probably enough. If I need more than one of these, I'm probably having a really bad day. Okay, bandages. Every first aid kit's gonna come with bandages. And that's what they try to sell themselves on. They'll say like they have 100 pieces, but it's just a bunch of crappy little bandages. I think it's good to have some. You don't need too many. And really that's the question, how many do you need? So maybe you can help me answer that. I've got a couple small, a couple medium, and some large. In fact, looking at my collection, it looks like I have mostly medium size. I don't know how that can be improved. I'll have to inventory it and see exactly what I should carry with me. But if you have any advice, I could use it. The last thing to talk about is some gauze of different sizes. Personally, I like rolled gauze, but it does take up more space in your little survival kit or first aid kit. And you'll probably also need to have some medical tape with gauze, depending on how you're using it. I cut myself pretty bad a couple years ago, and little bandages didn't cut it, so I had to use like some paper towels and some other things to try and hold the wound. So carrying gauze is useful if you know what to do with it. All right, so now that I'm looking through a lot of this, the gauze and the medical tape I'm going to keep. All of these swabs and things, I'm going to rethink all of that, but I am going to keep the burn kit. Tourniquet's nice, know how to use one. gonna keep these. They could come in handy. These, they're so light, I don't see a reason not to keep them, but I'm gonna add them to my survival pile. Again, we'll talk about that later. Bandages, always good, but size and quantity, that's the discussion. How many do you need? And then all my medicines and pills, I'm gonna definitely rethink all of that. So, now I need to reorganize this. So that's kind of my idea for a first aid kit. It has all the basics, nothing too fancy. If you have recommendations, let me know. I'd love to hear about it, and we'll jump into the next topic now. Okay, I know some of you are just here for the survival kit, so we'll talk about that now. All right, so let's recap on what I have in the little survival kit that's not really a survival kit yet. A little headlamp is a good idea. This one's rechargeable, super small and lightweight, so it doesn't take up barely any space. And then I do carry some paracord with me. In my traveling, I've never really used it other than just to hang some laundry, but it could come in useful in so many other cases. And as I mentioned, a knife which doubles as a multi-tool. So that helps it get through airport security. And I'm not going to recommend you carry this in a bunch of other countries or when you're traveling, but I do keep it in my bag. Bottle opener too, so it's pretty handy other than just the cutting blade. It has some other functions. And then as I mentioned, I think this came with the first aid kit. It's a little whistle. Sure, it's so lightweight, I'll put it in there. So what can be added to my survival kit? I think maybe some, again, we're trying to keep this small and lightweight for like travel. It's not like a big outdoor survival kit for like weeks on end. So maybe something to purify water, maybe just some water purification tablets. A filter might take up too much space, but it's worth looking at one of those little Sawyer filters that doesn't look too large. Although I've tried using those in the past and they're not great, but in a survival situation might work. Another basic of survival is obviously fire starting materials. Now, since this is a travel survival kit, what kind of fire starters can you take on an airplane? Something to think about. I don't know the answer to that, but basic lighters. Can you take a lighter onto an airplane? Not even if it's on your carry-on luggage, but like stowed luggage. Is it still allowed? Something to look into. Maybe it depends on the airline. I would probably also add just a small basic compass, nothing fancy, but as long as you can orient where north is, I mean, that could be helpful. And then maybe something like shelter supplies. Maybe just something like a Mylar blanket. It's hard to bring shelter supplies when you're trying to be really compact, right? So these are just some ideas I'm brainstorming right now, and that's where you can help me out. If you have some ideas, I'd love to hear it. I'm, again, not an expert in any of this. I'm just trying to be as prepared as possible, but also minimalistic, if that makes sense. And it's a hard balance, right, between not carrying too much that you're not going to ever use, and it just adds weight to your bags and space to your luggage. So hopefully I can get a better system in place, and then I'll make another video with the improvements in a couple of months. And again, it probably won't be perfect at that point either, but at least it's a good starting point and we can learn from each other. So leave a comment if you have ideas, and I'll see you in the next video.